footage special. It happened one summer night back in high school, a night I would never forget. Finals had just ended, and my friends June and Ken were staying over at my place. We had planned to play video games all night, but for some reason, I suddenly felt compelled to turn on the TV. I flipped through channels mindlessly until I stopped on one. It was a horror footage special. Clips of ghost sightings and unidentified creatures flashed across the screen. Most of them were cheesy and obviously staged. Honestly, not scary at all. We laughed and joked about the bad acting and fake-looking effects as the hours passed. By the time the clock hit 2 a.m., the show was reaching its final segment. That's when the next clip came on, and our laughter stopped cold. The footage was from a stationary camera pointed down a dim, narrow hallway in an old Japanese house. The image was grainy, flickering with static. It looked degraded, but the poor quality somehow made it feel more real. At the end of the hallway, there was an old sliding door. There was no sound in the video, just an overwhelming silence. "This one feels off," June murmured without taking his eyes off the screen. We all stared, holding our breath. Nothing jumped out like in a typical ghost clip, but the silence, the sheer length of it, started to gnaw at us. It was oppressive. I could hear my own heartbeat echoing in the room. Then it happened. The sliding door at the end of the hallway slowly, and I mean slowly, began to open. There was no sound, no creaking, just a smooth, silent motion, like the air itself was being pulled inside. Behind the door was complete blackness, an abyss bottomless and thick. I heard someone gasp. None of us dared to speak. What was going to come out of that darkness? From the blackness, something began to emerge, quietly but unmistakably. It was a foot, a human foot, but it didn't step forward onto the hallway floor. It simply appeared, standing in place. A foot and ankle, veined and pale, planted firmly on the wooden floor, yet with nothing attached above. It was like the severed lower leg of a person had just materialized there, standing by itself. We were frozen with terror, eyes locked on the screen. It was impossible, and yet it was right in front of us. Then, beside the standing foot, a second foot appeared, this one dangling, as if suspended from something. The toes barely brushed the floor. The leg bent at an unnatural angle, limp, as if it had been hanged. It looked like the foot of someone who had committed suicide by hanging. June whispered faintly, "What the hell is going on?" One foot stood upright, the other hung lifelessly, swaying. The two legs, one grounded, one suspended, formed a grotesque contrast that stirred something primal in us. A deep, inarticulate fear. And then, slowly, the torso of a human being rose into view above the standing leg. But the lower half was missing. The torso was not connected to the legs. It looked like a severed upper body had been forcibly placed on top of a single foot. Its arms dangled uselessly, the fingers twitching slightly, as if trying to grasp something. The head was still hidden in the darkness. But even without it, the bizarre arrangement, the freestanding leg, the limp hanging one, the disconnected torso, made it painfully clear that we were seeing something profoundly unnatural. Then the footage distorted. The screen flickered violently with noise, and in one brief instant, the head appeared clearly on the screen. Its eyes were wide open, the mouth stretched impossibly wide, twisted in a silent scream. The face seemed to stare straight at us. The image cut to black. Static filled the screen. A low hum buzzed through the room. We sat in silence, unable to speak. Sweat poured from our skin. Our breathing was ragged. We had just witnessed something beyond terror. Something we couldn't explain. That image clung to the inside of our minds like claws. What the hell was that? Ken muttered, his voice trembling. We kept the lights on and curled up in our blankets, huddled together until morning. When I woke up, groggy from fear and lack of sleep, I turned to the futons next to me, where June and Ken should have been. But no one was there. What? I scrambled up and looked around the room. Living room, kitchen, nowhere. No trace of them. The half-eaten snacks and drinks we'd shared were gone. So were their bags. It was as if no one had ever been there at all. June? Ken? Panicked, shouting. No answer. Only my voice echoed back through the quiet room. My hands shaking, I grabbed my phone and opened our usual group chat. The last message I had sent was, "Wanna come stay over tonight?" And the replies sent yesterday evening were still there. "Sorry, can't make it tonight. Club practice wiped me out." They never came. I had watched the entire horror special alone. My hair stood on end. My mind went blank. Then, who had sat beside me last night? Who laughed and gasped at the screen? I grabbed the TV remote and opened the program guide to double-check the channel. There it was, the horror footage special. I had even recorded it. Relieved in a strange way, I played it back. The ghost clips played exactly as I remembered, the cheap effects, the exaggerated voices. Then came the hallway, the dark corridor, the sliding door, the slow opening, the black void, and the first foot appeared just like before. But that was where the similarities ended. The second foot, the suspended one, never showed up. Nor did the torso. The grotesque figure I remembered seeing wasn't there. The footage lingered on the open hallway for a few seconds, then cut to the next segment. As if that horrifying scene had been edited out. No, it wasn't just edited. It was never there. I replayed it, rewound, paused, watched again. It was gone, completely missing. To this day, I don't know what I really saw that night. Was it real, or something that came from somewhere else entirely? Do you enjoy nights like this? Give a like and we'll come again.